Welcome to the Atomic Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Osborn. And on this podcast, we interview successful business owners for them to share atomic, impactful lessons that they've learned throughout the course of their career, share them with us so that we can learn as well. As always, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. We use this method to book 26 qualified leads and sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, or endless social media posting. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. But on today's show, our special guest is Michael Lastovskiy. And I hope I said that right. He is the owner of Neo Forensics, providing forensic services, fraud investigation, asset tracing recovery, litigation support, due diligence, compliance, and fraud related training. So, Michael, thanks so much for being on the show today. And I want to ask you a question that I always love to start off with, which is this. If you somehow were able to go back and start over again in what you're doing in your business, but knowing what you know now, what would you do differently in the first 12 months?
Oh, that's a good question, Jason. Thank you. I didn't expect that one. Uh, I'll probably just do the same. I'll just go right into this because when I started Neoforensics, nobody told me to do it. I just decided by myself. This was this point in my life where I thought that's it. I have to do it. And I didn't ask any questions of myself, of anybody else. I just went to it, into this adventure, and it was fun. And I don't regret a single moment of it, even though it was quite difficult and challenging. So I don't know. I would do nothing different. I would just redo it and see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. What do you think the key elements of you being successful when you were starting off and even what you're doing now, what are the key things that you think has separated you from other people that may not only just start in business, but even people that might be in your own industry that just haven't stuck around or been able to be successful?
The most important factor of success, I would say, is resilience and ability to overcome challenges. And there will be challenges, 100%, 200%. And I've been through this multiple times. So I think the mental strength and capacity to overcome these challenges, just to stand up and continue your journey, your fight. This is the crucial factor of success. And frankly, I wouldn't say I am successful at that point in time. I'm just doing my best to be successful, to get there. And this is the whole thing. It's mental, it's attitude, it's a journey. It's not the like one thing which is completed and you are there. No, it's a long way. It's like a marathon, if you wish. So
Yeah.
yeah, just be resilient, go after your dream. And I guess the other thing is proper motivation. So it's not money, at least for me, it's not money, and it's not like buying something, some Ferrari or house on the ocean or whatever it is. It's just doing a right thing and, returning back to the society and to this world something which you feel you can give. You can give.
Mm,
Therefore, you should give. That's it.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, as you've been growing in your business, what's been one of the hardest things to scale, but without being spammy in your approach? Because I know a lot of times as we grow our businesses, we're speaking to more people and we can kind of fall into this kind of mechanism around stuff and lose that relational aspect. But what's been the hardest part of not being salesy or spammy in what you do?
Right. So yeah, let me give you a bit of perspective. So I'm I came to the UK 7 years ago, roughly, and I'm from Russia. So for me, starting uh, a business in London in highly competitive market in 2023, right in the middle of the conflict, um, was double challenge. And also, if you just go on Companies House and check me, it says Michael Lastovskiy, a Russian citizen. Therefore, even to open a bank account was difficult. But um, it's going back to the resilience question. If you believe in your own mission yourself and you go after this, you'll do it. Now, going to your question about sales and driving opportunities for pipeline without being sales too salesy, too flimsy, I guess it's building relationship with your clients, because in forensics and investigations is highly interpersonal. It's super interpersonal. You have to build trust first. But also there's an element of brand for sure. Therefore, if you are a new company with unknown brand, you have to prove yourself on both levels, personal trust and also your new brand. And they work together in conjunction. So currently, I think neoforensics is as much Michael Lastovskiy as vice versa. But over time, I believe it will be more the power of brand, less power of my own personal brand. And again, coming back to your question, building personal relationship, meeting people face to face, going out, seeing them, shaking hands. This is the most important thing. I tried multiple cold reach out, CRMs, emailing, LinkedIn, scaling and non-scaling. And I realized that the best thing which works for me, for neoforensics, is personal outreach, conferences, seminars, but interpersonal communication, face-to-face, human being to human being. This is what creates this crucially important element of trust. And then if you're patient enough, after a few of these meetings, opportunities come and contracts come, and this is how it works. And maybe after that, you can start scaling it with CRMs and mass emails, AI. But I think the mistake is to rush too fast into the technology, into the technological aspect of scaling. Plus, we are highly specialized service. It's like we're selling Ferraris, not even Mercedes. It's highly customized, and therefore each customer is like Ferrari buyer for us. So we treat it in the same way, irrespective if it's a small project or big project, small client or big client, doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Yeah. I love that. Really important around what you said with that as well. Just the way that you've built those relationships and communicate with people, I think is so important. It's very much what I teach with our clients and help them
Right.
with is just the relationship side, because
Yeah.
it makes all the difference in the world. Because in competitive markets, people just lump you into a group and think, oh, this is what you do. But it's like, it's not really what I do, but they don't know that until you build the relationship with them. So I think that's really, really powerful. So, but you mentioned something earlier, and you were talking about the challenges. You said challenges will come 100%, 200%, right? And I was like, yeah, I get that. One of the questions that I like to ask occasionally is around that challenge bit, because as business owners, we all go through challenges. But it can also feel really isolating as a business owner. And we can think that we're the only ones that are going through this challenge, or, why am I the only one dealing with this, when in reality, everyone deals with these things. And so, having said that, what I want to ask, Michael, is this: what's the number one biggest challenge that you've faced in your business so far? And what's the lesson that you learned from that?
Biggest challenge or biggest mistake, self-inflicted by the way, was that I went too fast. First year I was very humble and very, just hardworking individual. uh, Second year sales started to come in. It was, double digit growth, and I thought, wow, yeah, that's it. I am king of the world. And I was mistaken, and I started to expand cost side of business too fast, and therefore I drove profitability to red area, and roughly I ran out of financial resource. Rapidly I ran out of financial resources. So my biggest mistake challenge was that I, instead of gradual building, block by block, success on success on success, I kind of overestimated the, you know, couple of good financial periods, and I started to believe that it's there. I'm successful businessman, entrepreneur. No, it's not. It was just a cycle. Uh, and yeah, my advice to myself and to anybody else would be, if you have a good period, get prepared to the bad period, which inevitably comes after, or almost inevitably comes after. And yeah, it took me time to after this, second year's success, I took such a hard hit. It took me 6 months to recover after that. But now I'm twice as strong because I
Mm.
rebuilt the business from scratch, or shall I say, I'm rebuilding the business from scratch, and I've learned the mistake a hard way. I'm not going to repeat it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think you're well, I guess I think you're right. I know you're right with that. I think a lot of businesses are the same where they'll start growing, they're seeing a lot of profitability, and then they start to inflate their expenses. And
Yeah.
it's a hard balance sometimes because you want to grow, and so you know you need to invest in growth, but oftentimes we're kind of investing in the wrong things, or we're it's a learning process, isn't it? But I think that's a great lesson that we all go through. And we're not I think it's important for anyone listening, if anyone's in that situation right now, no matter how long they've been in business, I think we've all been there. We've all made that mistake. But you said something really key at the end of it. You're not going to do it again. with,
Yeah, that's right.
with,
That's right.
with, yeah. So it's learning the lessons and making sure that we actually apply those lessons in our life as well, which I think is really cool.
You Jason, clever people learn from others' mistakes. Stupid people learn from their own mistakes. I'm the second.
Yeah. Well, if you look over the next 2 or 3 years, because I know you said you're growing it and just building up what you're doing. What's your goals? What would you like to achieve?
Right. I mean, my goal is probably lays beyond 2 or 3 years horizon. I was asked recently, like, what's my goal? My goal is to take company to IPO at some point, which means a big company. But before that, on 2 to 3 years horizon, I just want to to take to take it to stable middle class. More specifically, in forensic services area in London, we have a bunch of competitors. It's a highly competitive place. I know my competitors very well, and I just want to be right in this mix in the middle, or shall I say at the top, ideally, of this bunch,
Mm,
my 6 or 7 key competitors at this point of company development, and then after that continue growing it towards big size. You know what motivated me to start the business was an article I read about 12 or 13 years ago when I was in the United States in New York. I read about Jules Kroll, who opened his Kroll company in 80s because he just was motivated by losses suffered by his dad, who was a publisher, and he wanted to do something about it. And it was so. The article was in New Yorker, I think. Yeah, in the New Yorker, in the magazine. And I was so motivated by this article, how a one person built a company from scratch. He was just by himself in 80s, and there was no industry. He created the industry. And then in 2000, he reached $1 billion valuation, and he sold it, and then he always regretted it afterwards. Yeah,
wow.
Jules Kroll. Yeah, it was interesting example, and it motivates me. The people like Jules Kroll, they do motivate me. I have never met him, unfortunately, in my life, but I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's really cool. Well, it's great to hear. Having a goal for an IPO is absolutely amazing, man. That's such a great like motivating thing to work towards. So that's phenomenal. Well, Michael, for people that are wanting to get in touch with you, learn a little bit more about what you do, what's the best place for them to get in touch with you?
Website, LinkedIn, socials. We're quite open. The policy of New Forensics is to be as open as and transparent as possible. Of course, we have one strict rule: we never disclose our clients' names. But other than that, we're very very, very transparent. I am on the website, my bio is there, my contact details. A lot of clients, they know my personal cell phone, and they can instant message me at any point in time. And yeah, that's quite easy to find us, to find me, and I'll engage the team. Yeah, the other important aspect, you can't do these things by yourself. You need a team. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Absolutely. Well, I definitely recommend everyone checking out Michael, particularly if you are in need of any of those forensic services that he does. Make sure and check him out on his website and LinkedIn. So, Michael, thank you so much for being on the show today. A great pearls of wisdom that you shared. Thank you so much for that. And as a reminder for everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. And until next episode, stay inspired.